Women are expected to live 7 years longer than the typical male, 7 years. That means you need more money for retirement than a man would. It's just a fact. When you think about it, a woman retiring at the age of 55 today is expected to live another 27 years. So that's to the age of 82. Another way to think about it, if you are 35 years old or younger, you have a 1 in 16 chance of living to 100. 1 in 16.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to Black Excellence Daily. I'm your host, Sean Croxton. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've got Mellody Hobson on the show today. She is going to share some overlooked reasons as to why women, especially Black women, must take charge of their financial futures. Mellody Hobson's coming up.
So why is it so important to be financially savvy? It's very important because more and more women are in a situation where we either never get married, we get divorced, half of all marriages, we have the death of a spouse, or we inherit money. And so understanding what to do in those situations is often rooted in financial decisions. First of all, I talked about the fact the divorce rate. Half of all marriages fail. We hear that all the time. So divorce in and of itself creates a lot of financial issues. We know the most ugly divorces have some kind of fight about money or kids, basically. Then we have this whole issue of, which is a great thing, but it has some repercussions, life expectancy in this country. Women are expected to live 7 years longer than the typical male, 7 years. That means you need more money for retirement than a man would. It's just a fact. When you think about it, a woman retiring at the age of 55 today is expected to live another 27 years. So that's to the age of 82. Another way to think about it, if you are 35 years old or younger, you have a 1 in 16 chance of living to 100. 1 in 16. Because of all the medical advances, marvels, et cetera, that have happened in this country. Living to 100 is a long life, hopefully a long, rich, full life. But think about if you retire at 65 and you need 35 years of income to live. You need real dollars to have a reasonable life in that situation. It's interesting, 50% of all women over age 65 are widows, 50%. So again, that puts it in context of the death aspect of why you're going to be in charge. Thirdly, we've got this wage gap. Now, of course, everyone's heard about the wage gap, right? Women still, even though we've made some strides in this country, we make 76 cents for every dollar that a man makes on average. 76 cents for every dollar. Now, to be fair about the wage gap, I do want to make one caveat here because everyone thinks, oh, it's because men are keeping us down. They're not being fair. They're not being, they have an agenda. They're not being as good to women. There is obviously some of that. But part of the wage gap, which I think is very interesting and noteworthy, is our own fault. The reason is that failing to negotiate ends up dramatically affecting how we are compensated. Because women don't always push as hard as our male counterparts do, drive a harder bargain. We're just happy to be there and want the job and we'll think it'd be great and everything will take care of itself. We end up forgoing over the course of a career about $500,000 in compensation, just from this initial way that we go back and forth on salary and the bargain that not driving a hard enough bargain. So that wage gap, I at least wanted to put in some context because part of it is just a lack of fairness, but the other part is where we could do a better job. Last reason it's so important to be financially savvy. This is distinct to us. They call it the mommy tax. What does it cost for you to have a baby? Really, in terms of your earnings, in terms of your life. There's a study out there that shows that a college-educated, stay-at-home mom who relinquishes her career gives up about $1 million in compensation. And that compensation is in the form of bonuses, raises, promotions, and things like that. The average woman spends 15% of her career outside of work raising children. So outside of the workforce, stepping out to raise children, 15% of her career. Every year that a woman spends out of the workforce, it's estimated that she must work 5 extra years to recover the earnings. For every 1 year, 5 years to get back to equal. Now, one of the things that you do when you leave the workforce, even temporarily, you don't contribute to your 401k plan. No Social Security gets taken out of your paycheck. So when you think about retirement dollars, you're already behind a white male who's as smart, a black male who's as smart, Hispanic, whomever it might be. You're already behind the 8 ball with them just on that basic contributions and saving for retirement. Upon returning to work, which was also interesting, often a woman is unable to work overtime and as long and as hard after having a baby, and that also sets us back financially. Now, this is not trying to make any kind of statement that being a mommy is bad. Not at all. There's no judgment here. The only point that I am making is this is just a fact. We need to know it, and we need to then work to overcome this fact in terms of how it affects us financially.
That was Mellody Hobson. Her website is arierinvestments.com. You can catch today's talk on YouTube. It's called Mellody Hobson, Why Women Need to Be Financially Savvy. Hey, time's running out. Book club enrollment closes tomorrow morning. Get signed up right now at scbookclub.com. We're reading The Confident Mind by Dr. Nate Zinzer. If you don't have time to read it, you can listen to it on Audible, or you can read the summaries in our book club community on Circle. So that's scbookclub.com. You're going to love the people. You're going to love hanging out with me. We're going to have a good time. I hope to see you there. I'm out. Peace.